Thanks to Maguire's, we're off to Meremere Dragway for an epic assault on the senses. It's second time lucky for the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars New Zealand invasion. Scheduling a race meeting in the middle of a countrywide drought should be a pretty safe bet. But 2 years back, when a rain-soaked crew packed up their trailers for the return trip to Australia without making a single pass in New Zealand, there was this sinking feeling that we might have missed our big chance to see this highly anticipated Nitro experience on our home turf. After all, the logistics of shipping not only an event's worth of funny cars, but also the drivers, a full complement of support crew, spares and tools, even their own media and commentator, well, it's no small undertaking. So, there were equal measures of relief and excitement when a 2020 return was announced. 8 Nitro funny cars inbound and 1 wheel-standing Nitro Sheriff, to be joined by one of our own, Carl Boniface in the Nitro Flashback Vega. Cue another record-breaking drought. And come Saturday, well, you guessed it, steady, heavy rain.
Yeah, look, I've never been so happy to see sunshine. Rained off yesterday and we're thinking, oh, here we go again, but she's beautiful today and we just want to put on a show for the New Zealand crowd.
The Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car series has proved incredibly popular back home in Australia, with 6 events across the country, a 20-strong field plus the 2 wheel standers. Founded and backed by Graham and Wendy Cowan, the series has a number of Kiwi connections too, notably One Bad Kiwi wheelman and series manager Maurice McMillan, Whangarei born and Waikato bred. The series' success undoubtedly due to its #1 goal to both entertain and interact with its fans.
Oh, it's all about the show. The whole thing's about the show. I like to think we're the 2020 cricket version of drag racing. So it's short, it's sharp. You know, the cars all have names. The drivers are all really accessible. It's about the families. It's about the kids. We want the kids to come and be entertained and fall in love with the sport like the rest of us has. You know, this drag racing's the best kept secret in the world, I reckon, and we're doing what we can to put it out there and really engage everyone in the experience.
It's one of the biggest things in drag racing at the moment. Our goal is to put smiles on kids' faces. It's a real family-based atmosphere, and as long as we can put on a show and the supporters love it, it makes our job easy.
We're talking about 4,000 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour, so the open speed limit in under a second. We're talking 300 kilometres an hour in about 3.5 and over 400 kilometres an hour in 5.5 seconds. So we've got some mumbo. They'll use 40 litres of nitro in one pass. You know, that's not a cheap way to get down to the dairy, but that's what makes them so powerful and that's what we love about them. So the numbers are impressive, and most importantly for us, it's about side-by-side racing and entertaining those people that come along.
And ensuring the series stays competitive means keeping a level playing field.
They're all TFX Hemis, they're all 413 cubic inches, they all run 128 litre fuel pumps, they're all 671 blowers, and they're all making around 4,000 horsepower. The big difference, you got the driver, you got the tuner, and it's adapting the driver and the tuner to the racetrack. So, hey look, they're all within a tenth or two of each other, so it only takes a slip up on the start line or anything, and it's literally any of these cars can take it out today. It should be pretty close.
It's really great the way that we run it. We get to run all 3 laps and it goes off a point system. So not only is it good for us as drivers, we get the seat time, but it's also good for the kids and for the families and for the supporters who come out here and watch. They're getting to see all the excitement 3 times around, and then the points get broken down, and first, second and third could go to anyone.
If spectating a round of Nitro funny cars is nothing short of an assault on your senses, then try being strapped into one.
Honestly, nothing compares. The acceleration, the aggression, it's just got to be seen to be believed.
Honestly, it's like being strapped to a rocket, you know, like the Wile E. Coyote, just gets shot off into space. Once these cars launch, just the immense G-forces is just incredible. But what's really impressive is when you throw those chutes out and they blossom and hit you hard, you just fall into those seatbelts.
We get asked the question what it's like all the time, and there's really no answer that makes sense. You know, you can say it's like being stuck in a rocket, you can say it's like being shot out of a cannon, you can say it's like the world's fastest roller coaster. Sometimes you think it's like putting your head in a paint shaker at Bunnings because it stirs you around that much, but it's kind of a mix of all of them thrown in. Words can't describe it. It's just cool.
The competition boasts its share of battle-hardened drag racing campaigners, but impressively for others, the path into the driver's seat has been a very rapid one. Emma Begley following her dad's footsteps, not only into the sport, but also into the Outlaw Nitro circuit.
I started racing juniors when I was 11. Dad's been racing for Graham and Wendy Cowan for about 6 years now. So I've always been around the cars, but it was definitely a huge challenge stepping out of a junior, doing a couple of laps in a one-tonner and jumping into one of these bad boys. So every time I get behind the wheel, I do learn something new, and I think that's every driver.
But don't think for a second Emma's rapid rise has been by chance.
When I was 15, I actually said to one of the commentators when I was down at one of the events, you know, I really want to be one of the first girls in Australia to licence in one of these cars. And lucky enough, that was the case for me licensing at 18. There's obviously been Leah Pritchard and them in America who have raced, but not anyone here in Australia. So it was a dream come true. I still today pinch myself that I actually made it here.
And of the day's rivals, one in particular had a big target on their back.
We did a bit of a family holiday before we come to racing this weekend, and Dad and I did get told that we were racing each other in second round, so I think he's beaten me 3 times now, so hopefully if I can walk away from a win against Dad, I'll be happy.
Plenty to talk about on the plane trip home then. For Brandon Gosbell, the series' first successful international round was especially significant.
Yep, this is actually my debut event. I've licensed in the car and that's it. And here we are at Meremere Dragway, ready to make our first passes. Absolutely blindsided. Basically, I got a call out of nowhere one day asking if I was interested in driving a Nitro funny car. And what do you say? Obviously it's yes. Huge. I've never driven anything Nitro powered or any drag cars whatsoever apart from a junior dragster. So my background's actually on 2 wheels. So this is quite an unusual experience for me. No expectations, just out here to have fun, see the kids and have a good time.
But not everyone was shooting for 5s. Where to when running a 4,000 horsepower Nitro funny car flat out on all 4s seems just a bit monotonous? Ask Chelsea.
You've got to steer with a handbrake, so you've got no steering wheel at all when you're up in the air, and you've got to be really soft on the throttle. So, which is crazy because in drag racing you just want to mash the throttle and keep it down. It's something like you'd never drive before.
And although Chelsea's passes were a little less violent in their efforts to stop the clock, they were still surprisingly fast, all things considered.
Between 95 to 100 mile an hour, depending how good the run is. I mean, which is quite fast anyway, but on the rear wheels, yeah, it's getting there.
New Zealand's first real taste of the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny cars went down a treat. Meremere sporting crowds seldom seen in modern times, and Mother Nature too would play ball, despite being more than threatening on a few occasions. In a particularly poetic fairy tale finish, it was local lad Maurice McMillan who took top spot. Deservedly so too, recording the day's quickest pass at 5.61 before taking out Rick Gorsey's Nitro Express in the final.
Just proud. We grew up here, we raced here. Now to bring all this here and be a part of such a big thing, like just so proud to be able to do it, to be honest with you. And we just really want to put on a show. There's so many people that have, you know, helped me out through the years, and crowd that have been here and watched us right from junior dragsters all the way to here. So I really just want to put on a show for the New Zealand public to show them what we do over in Aussie.